What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Libra finance today. This one comes to us at the request of Mr. Robert Lellis. We're doing this one for you, Robert. Not a whole lot of data on this from what I can see. There's not, if I type it in LBR, USD, even on BitGet, yeah, looks like kind of the same chart. This one actually has more data, and I checked on Poloniex as well. Not a whole lot. Maybe CoinEx. No. Less data. Yeah, so KuCoin has a little bit more data. We're going to use that, and with what we have, don't hold me to it, man, because this thing could really do whatever it wants. It could just, go backwards even. I don't know. But with what we have, I'm going to try to give my best analysis. So you do have increasing volume while promoting a lower high. I can already tell you that that's not necessarily a good thing. But to be fair, also, you kind of came off of all-time lows and have increasing volume, which is a good thing, if so, whatever. But you would like to see more volume, I think, like this go hand in hand with breaking an all-time high. That would be my preferred move, but who cares what I think. Looking at this thing, you topped off right at the 786. You broke straight above the 618 on your first attempt, and you actually got stopped at the 786 a few times and went all the way down to your 236, found support, rejected the 0.5, went below your 236, but came back up to resist the 382. It looks like you are working your way systematically down, and it wouldn't surprise me if you broke this low. It is completely possible that you break this low. Let's see, with Bitcoin the other day, it dropped like what, a total of what was it? It's like 7% or something in a day. That was a 25% drop all in all. I think Bitcoin had an 11% drop all in all, but on a closing basis, it was at like 7%. Let's look at it actually. BTC USD on Coinbase, it had a 7.2% drop on a closing basis, and from top to bottom, it was 12%. Okay. So 12%, and then this thing did 25%. So if I think, and I do think, that Bitcoin has a little bit more to drop in it, let's just kind of go back. I keep doing this, man. USD. Let's say from its current price we were to drop to, I think we're going to go around here, something like that. Another 8%, sure, that sounds about right. Maybe 10%, who knows. But if we dropped about twice the amount as we did before, then that could imply that we might drop another like 2 times the amount here. And if we were to drop 2 times the amount of, what was it, 8? It was a little bit over 8, so let's call it like 8.5. Let's make it 17% there. That would still promote higher lows, and we would potentially find a low around where we bounced off this time before, which is also coinciding with this 0.069 area. So maybe you do drop a little bit further than 17% from the current price, but maybe potentially you do not take out this low, which is encouraging. That's nice to see. But to be fair too, not a lot of data on this chart to go off of. I would expect, just the way that this RSI looks, I would expect that you'd come down at least to bounce off the oversold zone. And would a 16%, a 20% move do that from here? It might not quite get you down there, but who's to say? I don't know. You could do the same thing where you bounce off of it like you did this time, go up a little bit, and then all in all you still get a lower low. Maybe you get a true double bottom, maybe you do go below this. It's really hard to say. But at the moment, I do think, for what it's worth, I think you go lower, at least in the short/immediate term. I don't know if you're going to break this high right now. You're probably going to break this low before you break this high. That would be my interpretation of this. After all, you do have a high here, and it's a higher high than this peak over here, right? And you've got a lower high that is hidden bearish divergence. You tend to see these play out in downtrends. It's kind of a mark of continuation, right? So like if you see this lower high, lower lows, that should be in a sense a mark of continuation, right? You've got your lower low. What do? You form a lower high. What do you do from there? You form a lower low, and then you form a lower high. So what do you do from there? You're going to form, probably, it might not be that dramatic, though if this is to be the end of this kind of overall down move, I might expect it to be at a more dramatic incline. It could be less dramatic, who knows? But generally, you tend to end things with a bang. You got your smaller candles here in the beginning. Your bigger candles came toward the end, right? And you got some pretty big candles here in the beginning, just a little flash dump, but you got some pretty small candles. I would bet you see candles like this where you dropped 13% in a 4-hour period, or more than that probably, as you continue to move down. You really actually might, looking at the way this RSI is, you might set up for like some double bullish divergence, form another higher low on this, get a lower low in a closing basis on this over here. You could wick really low, but still come up and close. I don't think it's gonna look like that, but just humor me. You can have price go lower than this low substantially, but come back up, still close above this low, form some bullish divergence, and then get going. That might be the end of that. But I would expect a bigger move than some of these red moves that you've seen. Maybe something like this, where it was an 11.8% move or a 13.7% move, something like that. You did bounce right off of your purple line. It looks like you're showing respect on it. Let's see. Let's see how this thing performs. You got a little bit of resistance here, a little bit of support here. Support, resistance, looks about right. And I'll call that resistance. That's the early days. It's the first tip there. And you are below. No, you're above. Are you above? You are just below your 50. You actually look like you rejected it. So that is not a good combination, actually. Rejecting your 50 area on the long-term RSI while also rejecting the purple line, that does, I would expect that you do get a move at least down to, you're at $1.45 right now. You'd probably get a move that takes you down. That's not that bad. $1.14. Okay, wait, no, that is a little bit bad, I guess. Let's see. I thought it said $1.44. I'm numerexic, or what's it called? It's like dyscalculic. 21%. A 21% move is totally doable from the current prices to the downside. You could even go further. 28% down. That's possible as well. But who really knows how far it goes? It could go further than that. It might not go that low. All I do believe to presume to know is that this is the end of your little up move here, just as this was over here, and you're probably going to continue this overall little downtrend that you're in right now. Overall, for like what it's worth, I'm not so convinced as I was in the very beginning of this video that you'll break this low, but I am pretty convinced that you'll break this one. You might double bottom right off of this area here. You might not. You might come down and double bottom off of this, but we'll see when we get there. Again, it's not super encouraging to get a lot of volume on lower highs, but hard to say. Hard to say if it's a bad thing. You did come off your all-time lows. So, and your all-time highs, like we just formed it. So there's not enough data. If this was something that like happened years ago, it'd be a different story. But this just happened literally last month, so hard to say. But all in all, I don't really know too much about this thing, man. I'm looking at the chart itself, and I do think short term you're going down, and then we'll see from there. I don't know how high this thing could go. I don't know what its market cap is. Let's see. Actually, let's go. What's the fear and greed index at? While we're at it, man, it's at a 41. It's higher than it was yesterday. I would say it's a good little jump there, actually. But let's look at it on CoinGecko here. CoinGecko LYBR, or is it LBR? There we go. LBR, Libra Finance, number 648. It says that, but it might be higher or lower. 647, I told you. Market cap, 20 million. If this thing wanted to 100x, it definitely could. That would put it at a $2 billion market cap. So this thing, it could even 1,000x, man. If it gained serious traction and got to like $20 billion, $20 billion is a doable market cap in the top 100 for sure. So this is a 1,000xable coin. Will it do that? I don't know, man. I don't know. A 1,000x from here would put it at $145, right? No. 10x would be $14. 100x would be $140. 1,000x, well, duh, yeah, 1,000 times 145, of course. It'd be $1,450, something like that, right? So that actually makes sense. It could do that. It really could do that. That is possible. Let's see if there's any fibs. Let's end on a bullish note. I like to end on a bullish note after giving all my bearishness. If you were, and the first thing that you have to do is you have to stop forming lower highs. Hold this low, try to form a higher low, and then faith can be restored in this thing for sure. You might be getting set up with an overall kind of like Adam and Eve. You very well could be, or this could just be like an Eve and an Eve even. I don't know, but all in all, some kind of W formation. But if you can break above this 618 again, the next time you come up to it, break above it, I would say that you have, just from the look of this fib alone, man, I would say that you have a high likelihood of going up here. Now that's not 1,000x, but that's at least over a 10x, right? And the fact that this thing is so small, man, it's such a low cap, deeper extensions are totally doable. So you could see $11, you could see $46, you could see $131. You might even see these numbers up here, these really deep extensions, but I'm not so convinced yet. There's a lot of proving you'd have to do. $20 billion is achievable, but that's a lot of money, especially making that jump from 20 million, especially being a brand new coin. But man, brand new coins in a bull market tend to do the most ridiculous things. So is this thing 1,000xable? Maybe. Let's look at how much volume it is. I keep saying we're about to end the video, but this is the last thing. 275,000 of these things trading at about $2. That's about what? That's 500, almost 550, something like that. Let's call it 550. $550,000 on a coin that's trading at a $20 million market cap. I mean, that's not bad, but that's not really too exciting, honestly. On a exchange like KuCoin, though, it's a pretty small exchange, so you're not going to get a lot of volume there. So that's okay. Let's see if this thing gains traction, if it can get scooped up by some bigger exchanges. If it can, you can see some pretty ridiculous things happen in the price. But at the moment, for what it's worth, you know, bullishness aside, I do think you go lower. Look to hold this low here, probably bounce around this low here. If not, you know, if you do break this low, hope that you don't break it too much, because if you give like a slightly double or a slightly lower low and it's like a double bottom scenario, that's okay. But if, I mean, oh man, I mean, rejecting the 618 after coming down, you came through it, rejected the first time, you didn't break through it. Second time you did break through it, and then now you're testing resistance. This normally would spell that you go down to about this area. And oops, that's a big circle. I didn't mean to draw it that big, but anywhere from about 85 to 64 cents. And that really could happen. This is a new enough coin. Again, there's not enough historical data to go off of. It might bounce here, it might bounce here, it might bounce here, it might bounce in this zone. Who really knows? But I'll tell you what, man, historically, traditionally, the way this fib looks, I'm not a fan of it right now. That's not a good look. That would scream prices below $1 are coming at you. So you really want to hold this 886. You really want to hold this 886. You can wick below it, whatever, but close above it. If you close below it, man, I think that you will break this low. I think if you close below this 886, you're going to break this low, and then probably go down to these areas here. That would be my overall expectation. So hope, pray, do whatever you have to do to ensure, you know, buy it all yourself if you can, to ensure that you don't break through this 886, and then from there you can start building up. If you go lower, whatever. It's just a better opportunity to buy, so don't get too caught up in that. It's not anything worth betting the farm on. Yes, it can go up 1,000x, but it could also do a 10x. It could do a 3x. It could just go to 0. So don't bet the farm on this thing until we have more confirmation that it is going to do the things that hopefully it does. Anyways, if you like the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.